Recording. Okay, so I'm here today with Alex Pudici, the founder of Work Nicer, and Dario Hudon, the co-founder of Work Nicer. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
You bet. So let's start off by just tell us a little bit more about Work Nicer. Who are you guys and what do you do?
So Work Nicer is a co-working space located downtown Calgary on Stephen Avenue. Basically, we are an entrepreneurial catalyst, and so our main role is to connect people together that are going through similar journeys, so people are able to work by themselves, but they don't have to work. Or sorry, they simply work for themselves, so they don't have to work by themselves. And so people that are going through a similar struggle, regardless of what industry they're in, and saw a place in order to get through the low points and also celebrate the high points. And so in addition to that, we provide all of the workplace necessities. So everything from boardrooms to beer is unlimited. So printing, internet, furniture, copying. We have communal bikes for people to use at any time. There's a gym in the building. There's showers, Red Bull, coffee, pretty much whatever people want. That's all here. But really, we're focused on making sure people get connected together and build those relationships within our small business and entrepreneurial community here in Calgary.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about how you guys got started.
Humble beginnings.
Do you want me to take this?
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, so I also own a security company, and we do alarms and cameras and that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, a lot of people don't have relationships with their security guy. And so I was working at home and my whole team was remote. And at the end of the day, that was kind of soul crushing for me. And so I didn't really have a great place to go to work really to try to fix that. And so I think I rounded up 10 people that were close to me that were interested in this idea. And long story short, opened up in a smaller, like 3,700 square foot, more traditional office space, a couple blocks away from our current location. And that's when we started just building a community. And so that is kind of the humble beginnings where I just started it without much of a team and created the first terrible logo and finally got it.
Yeah. And due to the location and the humility of the location, we had to concentrate on community more than anything else. We didn't have fancy anything. It really wasn't a fancy place. You walked in and it was traditional, brown furniture, etc. So we had to find a way to make it home for people, both in kind of mind and spirit. And that's where we started to realize that there are stark differences between having a co-working space and just having desks for rent. They are two different things, and so our concentration since then has very much been on building that community, and that's why we are at 150 plus members now, is because we saw very, very soon, the need that a co-working space needs to be more than desks. It needs to be able to be a point of resource, an API of sorts that taps into the needs of its members, and our most important resources indeed are members. And so we listen to them, we ask them questions, we're very involved with them, and we're fortunate. They're an extension of who we are, we could say.
That makes sense. And I remember actually when you guys had your first location, and it was great, but the location that you guys are in now, it's a really cool space. And it feels like an entrepreneur's hangout. So I love coming by there.
It's funny you say that, but people come by and like, Alex, like, what are you doing? This just looks like a place like
your friends hang out.
Yeah. It's kind of right.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
For sure. How would you guys say that you're different than other co-working spaces? What makes you remarkable in the co-working niche?
Well, I mean, it's funny you asked that, because we've actually built a co-working alliance that takes the premise of collaboration instead of competition at heart. And so, what we're seeing is that rather than, what's our differentiator as in how are we better than our competitors, it's more so what is our focus so that we can niche in that. And so knowing many of the other spaces in the city and being actually quite close friends with a few of them, we've come to realize that a space is really an extension of the founders and their character and their needs and their where they are in, I guess, their entrepreneurial career and what it is that, they needed at that time. There's a wonderful saying that says, be the person your younger self needed. And so I feel like we try to embody that. So I would say some of the things that make us a little different or differentiators or focuses would be this very community focused idea of tapping into the resources that people need. We built a lot of relationships with organizations that do two things. We have value benefits and we have community benefits. Our value benefits are your quintessential things. We have a great mobility plan that, saves you quite a bit of money. I like to joke that, instead of paying $85 to not go to the gym that you pay for, you can not go to this gym and it's just a part of your membership. We embrace the fact that we're downtown. We have some of the highest parking in North America. And instead of us trying to find a way around that, we just said, we actually don't have any parking. So we found out, more so alternatives that we wanted to embrace. And we're right on the Calgary Cycle Path, which at one point was a contentious issue, but is now becoming a part of the city's own spirit. And so we have, bikes. We've worked with a local bike shop to try to bring the fact that you have 3 bikes and you could just utilize them anytime you want. This is our pilot project. We'll probably have more moving forward. We have a deal with Car2Go that helps the members get more minutes, and we're working on a plan right now where we're going to be subsidizing bus passes. But rather than just putting the money back in your pocket, we're actually be using a service, a local tech company called Gifty that lets you gift copies and other gifts to an individual via text. But you'll have the option of going up to 5 different kind of spots in the neighborhood. The idea being to infuse the neighborhood with local money, and to really kind of bring that to heart. Be like, this is our neighborhood. So I guess you can say that our focus really is about our neighborhood, our members, and bringing them not only value benefits, but some really unique community benefits. We need to be more than just a space. Or else if we weren't, that you might as well just work in a coffee shop. Honest to goodness, if we're not providing you more than just a desk and coffee, we are just a coffee shop. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we provide more.
Yeah, and this is why I keep going back to the term I love, like this. It's for catalyst. I think it really is that we can take it from more than just a desk space and make it something where we can not only stimulate and support our membership, but also our community at large. It's our responsibility to be the change we want to be and extend beyond our walls and into our city. And so I think it's when people leave this place, what are actions are we taking to help stimulate and support other local businesses and local initiatives and government priorities and that kind of things as well.
Exactly right. Like we love and endorse the cycle track. So how we were able to augment that, to show that. I mean, if you think about it, we are a corporation with 150 employees. Think of it that way. And if you think of it that way, that means we have influence, and we might as well use that influence for good, but support the things that we ourselves love about the city that we live in.
Well, and then further to that, it's like, that's the whole point of the Calgary Co-working Alliance. So now, we have 6 spaces on board right now that represent, call it, 30 or 40,000 square feet and hundreds and hundreds of members. Now, all of a sudden, this is something where we can go forward. We can say these are the needs of our members, and then what are the needs of our community, and how can our collective membership support the needs of our community on a larger scale, even just beyond whatever we're up to on our own.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It sounds like you guys are doing a lot in the community, which is fantastic.
We're trying, yeah.
No, it's really great. I'd love to hear from both of you answer this question. Over the course of building Work Nicer, what was your biggest aha moment? I'm sure there were many.
Well, and that's the thing, actually. This place constantly just blows me away.
Yeah.
Biggest aha moment is probably, the one that comes to my head first, which makes me think it must be big or one of the biggest. I had a member that came up to me. Well, I guess it's semi-related, so there's kind of two. The first time when somebody said to me that when they got their bill, they said, this isn't an expense to me. When they get this, they don't think of it as an expense. Right? So we crossed over that line where it's like, this is just something that I paid to be a part of, and it just adds so much value into my life and into my business. This doesn't even cost me like this is not a cost, so I have to pay it.
see what you mean.
And I think the bigger one, honestly, is probably things where people said to me, like, hey, if it wasn't for Work Nicer, I wouldn't be in business today.
Yeah.
I'm only a year and a half old, right? Like, we've accomplished what seems like a lot, but we I think have a lot more work to do. But for somebody to come and say that, I'm in business today because of Work Nicer, like, that's kind of a pretty big moment for me. It's like, you know what? We're doing something that's got to be at least someone on the right track.
I remember, a few people we had come in and say, hey, we had one member in particular that came in and they said, I'm just kind of probing and talking, they only have 3 months to try to make their endeavor work. They're like, I have till December. I'm giving this a shot. My wife and I put some money aside and we're going to see if I could pull this off. And we were like, let's talk. Let's see how we can make this better. And we ended up pretty much rallying a community of people that referred to this individual long enough to build a foundation for them. And they've been here for almost a year now, doing well, right? Happily, going along. And so we helped build, their business through our means, right? Through the people around us. That was huge. That to me is that's what a co-working space is supposed to be. You're supposed to know your neighbor. You're supposed to.
That's
right?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really fantastic. So let's shift away from the positives for a second. Is there anything that you guys would say held you back?
Besides ourselves,
Listen, I think for me, I knew in my previous business that it was me that held me back from anything. Like if there's any lesson I learned previously, it was I got in my own way, that I was too closed, and then I wasn't transparent enough. And so, I went totally the extreme way with trying to get this thing going. That I knew that it's like, hey, I need to be really open and transparent and more trusting and build a team sooner. And so I think it was one of those things where now it's like we have 2 full-time staff right now that we take care of this place. It's like I was out of town last week and then I was sick for a couple of days, and this place totally ran to think about a total trust in those people to take care of what's going on. And I think that's something which I wouldn't have done previously, and I know that because I didn't do it last time. And so it's I think that's probably still the case. I think it's still probably that I or Dario was some sort of a bottleneck in order to make something happen. And so trying to continue to just be aware of that and empower other people, whether that's staff or members, to be able to run with different initiatives, ideas, or just keep moving the needle forward on their part and not try to be just a little bit of that.
That makes sense.
No, spot on. Yeah, we are definitely. I think I think it's important for founders to really put that into consideration. That if you're the one making decisions, then you're also the one making problems. You're not just building solutions. We're not perfect by no means, but we have these conversations every day. We have really good meetings where we discuss our positive and negatives and how we can better roll ourselves, because in the end, that's what's going to make the place better. So we have to be really vulnerable, really open. Builds a very close relationship, between 2 people and 4, including everybody on the team. You just be honest about what their needs are, and I think we're fortunate that, we live in a time and place where, we discuss the idea of being open and vulnerable, in our daily lives more and more. So transcending and bringing that into the workplace so that, we can be a better, team, for lack of a better description, I think it makes it a lot easier for sure.
Awesome. You guys have touched on team quite a bit, and I recognize that team also extends to just members at Work Nicer. But can you tell us who your key players are on your team and what's their impact on your company?
Okay. Well, we've got our community managers are phenomenal. They basically came across us, and we were able to kind of recognize the opportunity and take advantage of them. Phoebe Davis, when she's right there, you're sitting right there. she's blushing, is phenomenal at what she does. She's got an incredible work ethic. She was an intern that started with us. We took a Sunday, 3 hours on a Sunday, filling out this form to try to get an intern. And we're like, well, we hope we can pull this off, and we hope we can get a good intern. And we were honestly blessed with Phoebe Davis. And she came along. And then, how many months ago, maybe like 4 months ago, we found, yeah. I guess the end of February, yeah, we came across Jermaine. He was a member. No, he wasn't a member. He wanted to be a member. And he would be here late at night working on a project with a friend, and we just keep seeing him. And eventually through talking with him, we realized that his skill set was just exactly what we needed. And, we have this thing we joke around, Alex and I, that I set them up and Alex knocks them down. And so, I collect these, but then what do I do with them? And that's where Alex's expertise comes into play. He knows how to really put them into motion and find the place that they fit properly. And yeah, we've been fortunate. Without both of them, honestly, I think Alex and I probably would have ran ragged a while ago. It's true, and you learn that. You start to realize, like, oh, I can't actually do 12-hour days. Like, I still do. Oh yeah, we still try. But because of the respect that we have for our community managers, we know that we can take a step back. But it really does. It's so cliche, but it really does feel like a family. It's just like, they'll come in and they'll be like, "You feeling good today? No, go home. You're not feeling good. Go sleep. Go relax. Don't worry. I'm here today." And it's important to recognize those things, right? And because we kind of live here, like we're building something together. And when you're going after striving a goal together, all aligned, the rules change. But I think the stars need to align for that, and we've been fortunate enough that I think we're aligned right now. Yeah, we really are.
That makes sense. So I know we've talked about team, we've talked about kind of the progress you guys have made, but what's the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome in the course of the last, I guess, year and a half?
We come across a lot of opportunities. Alex is, and I mean this in a lovely way, he's like a truffle pig. He finds these amazing opportunities. He does. He finds these amazing opportunities. And he's a hell of a go-getter. Like, he just really is. And so we've built a relationship where it's like, he'll come back to the table and be like, "Okay, so I found these 3 things. I'm thinking X, Y, and Z." And it's like, okay, we have to break these down. And so ego gets removed, and we try to just, find what is the right opportunity to tackle at this moment. So funny enough, I think that one of our biggest kind of opportunities is the fact that we get so many, and we need to really be smart about not overextending and growing with purpose. And especially as a startup, you have these opportunities that can just push you, and we can move into 6 cities if we want to. But then what? Is that really the smart thing to do? And so we're really trying to think methodically about our growth so we can scale the beauty that we have in this location. That's the way I see it. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the bigger obstacle. We're actually probably going through it right now, where it's like, hey, we got out of our other location, we hit our first goal of 100 members in a year, we did 13 months. The next goal was to, as we were just staring at all the details, but being to the point where we can fulfill all the commitments or the long-term commitments of the lease on this space. We were able to accomplish all of those goals with time to spare. And so really now it's a matter of like shifting into that next gear and trying to figure out what that gear is supposed to be. Yeah. And that gear, what does that mean for our individual roles and systems and organizing, and to really like remove those bottlenecks and remove those issues, because that's something which, my tendency is to just do things as they come and just kind of handle the storm as it comes, and that's not fair to a team. So I think that's probably like the current thing we're going through is really figuring out, okay, what's the next step? How do we get there, and who's in what seat on the way of doing that?
Yeah, because we all have skill sets that, although they do share, they do have specifics. So it's just like, okay, so Jermaine, I feel like you're good for this one. You want to take this? It's like, yeah. So then boom, Jermaine's lead on this, and we kind of jump back and forth. I think that empowering of of what some other people might call employees is this like, no, these are community managers. Like we have to empower them, and they call us out, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah, we need it. Yeah.
That makes really good sense. So are there things that you guys do or rituals that you have that you do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, individually, but also as a team that are propelling your business forward?
Well, the cats. We got the cats. No.
Honestly, no. This is one of those things where I've spent a lot of time researching.
It's on every ritual, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it's more a me problem. It's like, I haven't been able to get into enough of a routine that I can just honestly, truly stick with it. And I think on the plus side, I think that means that it's like things are never the same. And I think I'm not okay with things always being the same either.
Our walls are just bigger. That's all. A routine has smaller walls. We just got bigger walls, and we just bounce a little further out, right? I mean, yeah.
I think at the end of the day,
keeps it exciting.
One thing in terms of structure that actually, so maybe it's not exactly routine or ritual, but a little bit of structure for me is that because from a household perspective, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, and I grew up on a farm, and then my parents bought other businesses, and so I was very used to working whenever you needed to work, right? Evenings and weekends, whatever.
You're done.
Yeah, and my wife did not grow up in that same environment, and so when we got married, I was just starting to work whenever. She said, well, it's the weekend. I'm like,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Must be Tuesday.
And so that was an interesting adjustment for us. And so finally, over the last couple of years, probably really since this place has started a year and a half or so, it's like I will work as long as it takes, Monday to Friday. But typically speaking, it's like I'm not usually in at work during evening unless it's an event. And so it's like if I could do this work at home or at another time, I won't be out doing it. And I very, very rarely work on weekends now. And so for me, at least, that's what's been like,
building structure.
Yeah, there is that part of structure which maintains sanity in my household, which really helps when you're at work too. So that's probably the one thing I've done that's actually truly worked in things for me and my wife.
And it's rubbed off onto me too. It made me realize that as well. I mean, I got a young family at home too, and the one thing I started to realize is that my time, it doesn't actually just belong to me. It belongs to my son, and it belongs to my wife as well. And when I spend that time, I have to make sure that not necessarily does it always have like a benefit, but I do have to put into consideration that everything I build is built off the idea of their time as well. And so we start to learn that respecting our own time, right, and respecting the time of others. Is actually, quite important. And that's specific those lessons, those entrepreneurial lessons that platitudes honestly don't capture. You have to go through them, and you have to battle them, and you have to have good people around you that you can basically call you out, and you can figure those things out.
Makes good sense.
Allergies.
So we're going to shift to what's your proudest moment? Is there something that sticks out in your mind across this journey where you've been like, man, I'm so proud of that achievement?
I'd say
For me, it is literally like right now.
Sure.
People using this place for working.
Right? Kind of neat.
It is.
I routinely see it. Like, it blows my mind. Like,
Yeah.
the people are here. So it's like that's it. It's like the fact that people show up and they continue showing up.
And they call this home. Yeah. It's a beautiful feeling. It really is. I mean, it's probably akin to, a farmer watching a field grow. You're like, look at this. Like, this is my corn. This is my amazing, beautiful. or any other vegetable. Right? But yeah, no, I was going to say, like, having like 150 plus members. I mean, that's huge. It's beautiful. Yeah, man.
It's a big achievement for sure. If there was somebody that was starting up in your guys' industry, what advice would you give to them?
Build your community first.
Yeah.
You gotta have a community before you open the doors. developers. I think there's so many people that are just taking an office space or building a hip, cool, trendy spot, but when you open the doors, there's nobody there. And I maintain that's the key. Is that from the beginning, you have this total control. People are there every day, that know each other and have a relationship. And so you're bringing new potential people into that community. There's something for them to see and to touch and to feel. Yes. And without that, I don't think it'll work.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Unless you just have a space, and again, you're competing against coffee shops. I would say on top of that, have a bit of a, maybe niche is the wrong word, but have a specific goal of sorts. Like ours is actually community. We want to tie into the community. We want to build the community. We want to, we want to feed the neighborhood. There's some spaces in Calgary that are specific to engineers, as an example. That's brilliant. Their needs are indeed different. If we have an engineer come in and they like the space, that's lovely. We'll let them know, by the way, there's actually a space that might work really, really well for you. Like, we'll take you by all means, but the end goal is to make them better. And so, yeah, I'd say what Alex says, make sure you have your community, and then, niche, have something, a reason that you're doing what you do.
Yeah, like a purpose, right?
A purpose.
I think it really does boil down to like value.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Value to our community. It's like, you're not sure what to do or what to do next. It's like go back to that. It's like, is this adding maximum value to our members? And if it is, it's like, is it the thing that will add the most value next? Right?
Makes sense.
And then if we don't know, we just ask them, actually.
Fantastic. Right? Fantastic. So you shared lots about your successes and the awesome community that you guys are building. I'd love to hear about your future plans. Where do you see things kind of going from here?
Oh, sky's the limit. We're actually going to have a bit of a dinner soiree with some of the people that I guess you could say investors, and some of the people that we hold close, to kind of discuss what that is, to let them know that our success is theirs as well. That's going to happen possibly in November, but there's so many things actually happening.
Well, I think realistically, it is. Like, there's a lot of interesting opportunities right now. Currently, it really is keeping an eye out for the next space, whether that is in this city or not in this city. And beyond that, it really comes down to just the right set of circumstances. So it's not like we've said, okay, we've identified this market as the perfect market, let's just go, or whatever. It's one of those things where if the right space and people to help assist with it present itself as we're looking, then we'll kind of pull the trigger on it. But really, I think what's next is just like to not take your foot off the gas. And that's the key. It's just like to keep moving forward, whatever forward happens to be.
Yeah, don't succumb to complacency or get stuck in the mud of stability. We're fortunate in that in Calgary right now, the economy has forced a diversity that has brought entrepreneurs and that pioneer spirit out of the woodwork again and into the modern era. So we're surrounded by people who constantly have unique ideas, willing to share and ask for kind of that help in building their own dream. So, I mean, we're surrounded by hopes and aspirations of people who have gumption. So it just kind of, it gets you going. You walk in the morning and you can't be bored.
Awesome. That's great. Well, it sounds like there are big plans over at Work Nicer, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to share your story with us. And thank you very much for taking the time.